you're a starter in the NFL till the NFL tells you that you're no longer a starter. More often than not, you don't make that decision. So we don't know what Cam's desire is. He may be okay with going and accepting a backup role. We don't know that. Second of all, you were the person all last week saying that Cam was the starting quarterback because he was going to be a better version. Now you're saying third preseason game he was hurt and he didn't look okay? So if last week he was good enough to be their starting quarterback, then he's good enough to go play high-level backup football. The second thing is, and this is why Dallas does matter, because to your point that there are things after football that matter, lifestyles after football that matter. You know what else does? Playing for Dallas Cowboys. You turn on a television on a weekly basis on a sports network or maybe listen to games on Sunday. You know who populates a lot of those seats? Dallas Cowboys. So if Cam is interested in doing something after football that is somewhat attached to the media world, there is not a better organization to go play for and to help your name and open up doors other than Cam Newton. And the third thing is, why would Cam Newton not be interested? Because everything we've heard over the last 2 years is people rave about his leadership, rave about him not wanting.
All right,
we don't know if Cam doesn't want to do that or not.
This is what I'll say. This is the problem, Sam, with what you're saying, okay? If there was a starting job that was obvious, okay, but a starting, like, Cam has an injury issue now. He's taken a beating throughout his career, right? And he doesn't look, I agree, Game 3, physically, he didn't look right. It looked like something, like the shoulder maybe was cropping up, right? Okay. So if he still wants to play football and presumably would like to play this year, where does he play? Like the Texans? Behind that offensive line, you're trying to get the guy killed. Like, you want to have the jobs that will be available to him will either be because a starter gets hurt, so he bides his time. Now he won't know the offense and all that stuff, right? Or a team that's really not good. The Texans jump to mind. Who else is there? I know Bridgewater did not do as well as Cam did with largely the same team. But at this moment, is Cam better than Bridgewater? Washington's a real good team. I don't believe in Fitzpatrick over the course of an entire season, but I think Ron Rivera does, or else he would have picked up Cam Newton, right? So I don't know what starting job is available to Cam right now. And in the absence of that, his options are either wait until Carson Wentz gets hurt again or someone like that, right? If they want him at a place like that, or stay ready, stay football ready, learn a system, and pick a team where maybe that's a little more likely, like, I don't know, as I mentioned before, Pittsburgh or something like that.
Yeah, but Max, we've seen people stay football ready and not get signed for 1, 2, or 3 years. There's stats that say it takes people 3 years to retire out of the NFL because you're sitting and you're waiting and you're holding on. And so, like, we've seen that story before. It doesn't work. It doesn't end well, number one. Number two, you talked about the comparable arm to Dak Prescott. When healthy, but we all have established he's not healthy. Number three, Dan, I know I was sitting up here saying that Cam should be the starter. I thought that, and then Bill Belichick said no, and I go with Bill Belichick, especially after watching the last preseason game. What I said was before the last preseason game, number three. And then last but not least, I remember when I was finishing off my NFL career. I played 8 years. I tore my pec in Chicago. I really wanted to go and play again. I just got released from the team. And my brother, Emmanuel, y'all know him from ESPN and from all the shows. He sits with me, he says, Sam, your life after football will be so much better. So you just stop. But I wanted to play. I was training. I was in shape. And I waited 8 weeks, and I finally signed on with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and had finish my season there. But, now it's better. And so, we have this idea that Cam has to go and play, but he doesn't have to go and be a backup anywhere. And if he wants to, great. You can be a backup. You can do that. I just think we need to understand that it's not about this whole, I'm going to go and I'm going to be the superstar.
If he wants to play football, he's got a backup. If he wants to play football.
There's life after football.
At least maybe in the short term. This is what we know. His future's bright, and he doesn't want us to feel sorry for him. Guys.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.